Welcome, everybody. It is Saturday, November 4th, 2017, 7 p.m. straight up. You're listening to the Wentz Project TV channel right here on YouTube. This is the podcast. Tonight is going to be a doubleheader tonight. Usually we might have a hangout sometimes on Friday night or whatever, but usually Saturday night is designated for the podcast. But it's going to be a doubleheader tonight. We got the podcast right here in this hour, and then the next hour, my co-host Jim and myself will have a special guest. We had to reschedule that. Everything's all good. It's good to go. But anyway, my host with me this evening, co-host, is Adam, EVH. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Joe. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thank you for being here.
That's great, man.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We got Synner also from our middle stage, along with Adam. Hey, Synner.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for being here again, man. And as always, from the swamplands, Mr. Jim Guidry from Louisiana. How you doing, Mr. Guidry?
Doing good. How about y'all guys?
Doing great,
Jim. Good. Hey, Jim.
Hanging in there, man. Having a great night. So, gentlemen, I think it's no secret what's been going on in the I would say rumor mills, but technically it's not a rumor anymore. It's Sammy has broken silence on the Eddie Trunk podcast. I heard about this last night. And I want to go around the table here and get everybody's input, and I'll throw my 2 cents in at the very last part of that. So, Adam, we'll start with you. What is your opinion on this from what Sammy said on Eddie Trunk? What's your opinion?
Well, I think you can pretty much lay it to rest that there won't be no more Sammy tour. That's for sure. He's basically said that that's it for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's cutting ties with them. So there goes any talk that people, the talk was that him and David Lee Roth might, it's just all rumor, but I'd be rest assured that's not happening anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's in his mouth, and I don't really blame him, to be honest with you, where he stands. So who knows what will become of Van Halen. But as far as Sammy being there, it's over. It's never going to happen. That's my opinion. Yep, that's what I got from it.
Synner, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I think it's a dead horse at this point. Sammy pretty much laid it out. The treatment of Michael with his loss in his family, and them not even reaching out to say, sorry, whatever. And the birthday thing, I don't think is a big deal. I think it just added to the pile, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's just he's done. He's done talking. Probably tired of talking about it. I mean, how many times he's been asked that, right?
Oh God, I can only imagine. Imagine. And what's your 2 cents, Mr. Guidry? What do you think?
Well, guys, I don't know. I'm pretty. I think the party's over with. I mean, it's pretty much the way Sammy made it sound. I think we've all agreed, and just about anybody who listened to it, it sounds like there's no chance. And the Synner touched on, with the loss in Michael's family, and no kind of reaching out, it just makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eddie's actually reached out to him in prior years, like as far as birthday wishes go. But I think this year was
the
first year he didn't really.
The birthday thing probably is not that's not a big thing.
Mm-mm. And then you got guys like David Lee Roth who were the first to donate to Michael's charity after he lost us.
It's class A.
Yeah, right away he stepped right in and he acknowledged it, emailed, so there's still contact. So
yeah,
you gotta respect him. He's not,
I think David is more down to earth. As weird as that sounds saying it, but I think he's more down to earth person than Eddie is at this point in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Oh no. It sounds like it. I mean, it's interesting that he was, the first one to reach out. But, I guess it's just it's just kind of really sealed the fate. I think we all kind of knew that it was never going to happen again. There was always that glimmer, that little sliver that you could hope for.
Yeah,
but,
that's gone.
Well, here's my 2 cents. This is the way I looked at it, and I'm pretty much on the same page as you fellas. But when you've been in a band with somebody for a long time, over a decade, You made a lot of music together. You had a lot of good times together. You had your ups and downs. You know, you shared a lot of personal stuff with that person as a group and as individuals and everything else. But sometimes when things go sour, yes, things sometimes don't work or whatever. But in a band situation, all that, it's a little bit different in my opinion. But if I was in a group for that long with some band members, or whatever, and we were close and all that, and one of my former bandmates or whatever had a serious tragedy that had to do with his family, I would still reach out to that person with a phone call or something and say, hey man, aside from our BS, let's put that to the side. Aside from all that, I want to tell you I'm sorry and I'm thinking about you, man, and I wish you the best. Is there anything I can do? That's all it takes.
Just the human side.
That's right.
But for some reason, I don't know what's going on with Eddie. I mean, I don't know the man. I don't know. I'm not saying nothing bad about him as a person, because I don't know what's going on that side. I'm just making an assumption as a fan, just an opinion as a fan. Do I still like the EVH products? Absolutely. Do I still love the Van Halen music? Absolutely. Always have, always will. But, I was hoping, like everybody else, next year, the 40th anniversary, I was hoping, okay, cool. Sammy is pushing for to do something with the guys. Him and Dave trade off, on lyrics and all that stuff,
Right.
But Sammy was really the only one pushing that, and then Mike was kind of putting his 2 cents in, but you didn't really hear nothing from nobody. Van Halen, as of right now, is just kind of stagnant. They're not doing anything.
There's 3 factors that come to mind when I think about what's really going on. A, that whole Cabo deal with Sammy and Eddie. So basically, I think Eddie's sour about that deal because he lost it. He's still sure.
All these years later, wow.
And then you got getting rid of Michael Anthony for Wolfgang. That's got a bug. Well, that's more Michael, but I think it's basically that, and the fact that Sammy is still playing their tunes. That really bugs them. That Sammy can play all their stuff from the Sammy era, and I think Eddie's mentioned that before in the past that it bothers him that they're playing all their tunes. Well, Sammy
they
says,
tried.
I got Michael in the band.
I think at one point they tried to bring some legal action. Where Sammy couldn't play them songs live.
There's a bunch of things. When you look at the grand scheme of things, it's just they're sour.
Sam. Oh, sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in Sammy's book, there were some things probably that angered Eddie and Alex.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I know there was.
Yeah, I've never even read the book.
I never read it, but
I have.
I'm just going by what
I got the audio version. I listened to it plenty of times, and he lays it out there. But to be fair, he lays a lot of stuff about himself too. About things that he done. We all make mistakes, people. Everybody screws up in life. Nobody's perfect. Now, him releasing that in a book to make it public for everybody to listen to or read or whatever format you have, that was up to him. But nevertheless, it's out there for people to research, and I just don't know, man. I just just in my own little imagination, I just always wonder what happened that was so bad to make them just completely split apart like that, So,
as a fan, the only way, as a Van Halen fan, if you're a fan of the era of Sammy, the Van Hagar era, I guess if you want to call it, as a fan, the only way to hear it live is to see Sammy in the circle.
He said that in an interview the other night. He said that I think this interview was like a couple, maybe 2 or 3 weeks old, and he was going through an airport and he was getting ready to get on the plane with his wife, and a guy stopped him and asked him about 8 or 10 questions, and he said, I get asked all the time about Van Halen. He goes, look, I'm just going to tell you straight up, Van Halen is Van Halen. Sammy Hagar is Sammy Hagar. Chicken foot is chicken foot. The circle is the circle. He said, but if you want to see a show that has a little bit of history from each era of those bands, he says, come see The Circle with me, Michael Anthony, Jason Bonham, and Vic Johnson. That it'll be worth the money. So I mean, what's
You know,
the
Joe, I
other
guess
guys ain't doing anything. They're not doing nothing. You know, I don't know
that's what
what
makes you
they're doing.
wonder. I know. Joe, I guess we ought to address the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right
Got
now.
several.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting ready to hop in there. Thank you, Jim, for bringing that to my attention. Simon Williams is in the house. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Bruce Anderson, Blackie DH, Big Dan Hall, the accountant, is here.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Bishop is in the house. I think that's what we got so far. Make sure I'm not missing
Bruce
nobody.
Anderson.
Yeah, Bruce Anderson.
Blackie
Yes.
DH.
Yep.
Hey guys,
Let's
thank
see.
you, everybody.
Yeah, how you doing, everybody? Big Dan Hall makes a good statement. He goes, "A little care and compassion goes a long way, especially between old friends." That's true. You know.
I mean, that's just
Yeah,
being a
because
good person. Period.
That's right.
But something that me and Adam was talking about was like the relationship that you have with somebody. You can be friends with people and not like the same bands or the same music. But when you're in a band and you're making music with somebody, it's kind of a special bond relationship that you get to know that person, on an intimate level as far as music wise, because you're sharing the same passion and playing the same music. So it seems like that relationship goes deeper. I mean, I know I'm sure all of y'all and people in the chat have played music with people that you either get along really well,
Right.
and that are great musicians, and you got ones who you can't get along with, and they're still good musicians, but it don't the relationship side don't work. So man, they made magic for a long time, and
they did, and sadly that part, I don't think the magic dissipated. I think just there was adjustments in attitude there.
It's kind of a slap in the face to the fans though of that era, the way they disregard, don't even give it, and they don't even acknowledge their, they basically Eddie won't even acknowledge anything that he's done with Sammy up till, the last album, and he doesn't bring it up, and he basically, that's sort of like telling the fans, too bad, this is that's not basically saying that's not the real Van Halen, and this is the real Van Halen, and leaving a lot of people in the dark. That's kind of a slap in the face. I take that personally as a fan. You got to put your stuff aside and grow some, and just do it for the fans. Do it for the love of the music. But there's something else, obviously, that we don't, that the media doesn't know, that us, the general public, doesn't know.
Sure, yeah.
There's something. There's got to be a lot more than just what's being said in the books, even, But will we ever find out? I highly doubt it.
Go ahead, Jim. Because I know, Jim, you and I talked about this the other night, and you made an interesting statement, similar to what Adam just said. Remember what you said the other night? Go ahead.
Yeah. Eddie changed. When I was, I seen him in 1980, and I was young then. But playing wise, influence wise, sure, man, he changed my. After seeing him and seeing what he was doing, it changed my whole outlook on guitar. Of course, I can't play like that, never will be able to, but I highly respect what he's done. And, I've got pictures and posters and all kind of Van Halen stuff. But, as a fan, it just makes you feel like, why, worship at the shrine, basically. That's just my point. And as Adam said, it's just, you feel like, as a fan, I like all eras of Van Halen. I like the Sammy era a little better, but that's just me personally, But you'll never get to hear it live unless you see the Circle, So
that's right.
Yep,
that's right.
So I just wish they could have, they could have done it one more time. But hey, it
makes you question the person.
I don't know.
It questions the person or the character that he actually has. Yeah, deep down, right? Not the player. We all know how good of a player he is, but for him not to be able to bury the hatchet and move forward, something's holding him back. And is it jealousy because of Sammy? Because let's face it, Sammy on paper too is probably got 3 or 4 times the amount of money that Eddie has. So you take that into account, the fact that Sammy's more successful. Sammy has that side band that he's playing Van Halen music in. I mean, that's got to burn Eddie.
Yeah, he never stops. He's like
that's right.
Energizer.
He's still going. That's right.
He's got dabblings and everything.
Yep.
It makes you wonder if they've ever crossed paths recently, or even come close. Probably not. I don't know if Eddie's really even went anywhere lately. I don't know. He might have. I don't know.
Right.
But
yeah, I love the gear. You know, the gear is all cool. And it
oh
all
yeah,
sounds
like
phenomenal, and you can't
right.
beat it. You know?
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing bad about
Oh, sure, yeah.
the music, the gear, or nothing like that. I'm not saying nothing bad about Edward or Eddie or Ed, whatever you want to say. I'm not. It's not my place to judge.
Well,
It's just to me, it's just
right,
sad.
right.
It's
Well, it's
sad, man. That it's like, come on, man.
it's like Bruce
You know?
Anderson says. He sees it kind of like a bad divorce, and that's true. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
in a bad divorce you can be friends. You know, with your ex, but a lot of times
A lot of times it don't
can't.
work out that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe you know. So I guess as a fan, I'm just going to put a period behind it. And, you know,
I don't think Sammy has a. I don't think he's got an angry bone in his body. That man is nothing but positive vibes, outgoing, happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
I can't see him doing anybody wrong. You know, I don't see it. He doesn't strike me as the type of person that would like anything to do. Like, he's just a straight shooter, and I think he's just a good person. So when people like Eddie have bones to pick with him, it's got to go back to stuff like the financial aspect of it, and the fact that he's playing his music that bugs him. I think that's the two things there. That's my opinion. I think those are the two things right there that are keeping things the way they are.
But you know what? It could be changed so easily.
Mm-hmm.
It could be changed so easily with a phone call or something. You know, because if Eddie were to, in my opinion, if Eddie were to go to Sammy or get a hold of him and say, "Hey, man, look, let's put all this to rest. You know, we've made too much great music together. Let's get back on the horse one more time." Sammy would be all for it. You know he would.
Yep.
You know he would. You know
he would be.
So what does that tell you? You know.
Yep. And then then you got. Let's not forget. I was trying to bring this up earlier when I was mentioning it, but it wasn't the right time. But then you got the fact that they got rid of Michael Anthony. You know, and Sammy even said those two go together. So if Michael's not coming to the band, then you can guarantee Sammy's not going to want no part. So it's take us both or forget about it, and that's basically he'll never get rid of his
vocal section. You know,
he'll never. Yeah, I mean, how can you blame him? He'll never can't get rid of his own kid. It's his son. But at the same time, then that means right then and there that if Michael's not joining the band, then forget about Sammy because they're a duo. So you could have pretty much before this interview came out, you could have pretty much already guaranteed that it wasn't going to happen anyways, just based on that, right?
Well, great if they could have.
Go ahead, Jim. Sorry. I was just going to say, I just remember, when we had our last podcast, Jim had brought up the fact that Sammy said in 2018 he was going to concentrate on Chickenfoot, and that told me right there. When Jim brought that to my attention, I said, "Oh, well, it's over. There ain't nothing going to happen with the Van Hagar era. That's over with."
Yeah,
that's what Satriani told Eddie Trunk.
And
in an interview he had just did a week or two ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago.
A lot of people have hope that, and a lot of talks have been that Wolfgang's going to get a gig. He's already got his own band, and they're waiting to release his band. And what they were saying is he's going to come out with his own album, and then he would step aside. This is what the true the Van Halen purists wants, and I don't know if it's rumor or it's just speculation, obviously, I guess, but that he would step aside. He would do his solo gig with his band, open up maybe for Van Halen, and then they'd bring Mike back in, and everything would be kosher and hunky dory. But
it'd be great for the anniversary. Yeah.
But I don't think that's happening either. So that'd be great if it did. Oh, so don't get me wrong. If that happened, that'd be.
They just shocked everybody.
Sure. So, but I don't think nobody's going to get shocked. I think you're just going to see, if anything, you might just see David Lee Roth back to do one more 40th tour, and that'll be it. And in the end, it's not a bad idea, anyways. I mean, he's still the original singer. Like I like David Lee Roth too. Don't get me wrong. I tilt towards the Sammy side, but I can't take away anything that David Lee Roth has done with Van Halen. That's Van Halen, right?
That is the blueprint.
So if they did wrap it up with just David doing the tour with him, I mean, they'd be just as successful, really, when you think about it. I mean, there's a lot of people don't want to hear the Sammy stuff, but as a fan, I would take what I could get, sort of deal. So I guess I could get over it. If you knew that was the last time they're coming around, I don't know. It's 50-50 for me. I know the tickets are a lot, and I know he's not too great live.
Adam's
so
51. It's 51-50, Adam.
yeah, true. It's 51-50. So
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
51
Just
in
kidding.
favor of not going, but it's a tough call. I love to see it. I just don't like when people are always in constant. It's just always in turmoil, always fighting. It's just life is so short. Why don't you just just take the high road and be the bigger man and suck it up and make things better it's better for everybody. That's got to eat away at somebody for that long. You know what I mean? And to constantly hear it over and over and over again makes you think. At that point, if that was me, I would just, even if I wasn't wasn't wrong or wasn't in the right, I probably would have picked up the phone and said something, because it can't go forever. Life's short, Well, a lot of people are missing out.
It's like Sammy even said in that interview on Eddie Trunk. He said, Tom Petty recently passed away, and Tom Petty was, younger than Sammy. He was like, what, 4 or 5 years younger?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think it kind of aggravates Sammy. I know y'all kind of said that the birthday thing wasn't that big of a deal, but, Sammy was the first one to make the move a couple of years ago toward Eddie for his birthday. And he made that initial move and say, "Hey,
that's what I was referring
to,"
but I was wrong. I said Eddie reached out to Sammy. You're right.
No,
that's what I did read. Yeah,
no,
Sammy reached out to Eddie. That's correct. Yep. I remember.
Sammy reached out to him, and then there was a lot of debacle about that wasn't actually Eddie that responded. It was maybe somebody on his Twitter team, representative or whatever, that responded back to Sammy. But either way, there was a response, and that really stirred up a lot of stuff in that camp. Even for me, I saw that. I said, "Uh-oh," and then, but see, then when Sammy's birthday came around, Eddie didn't say nothing. And then a year later, here we go. He just had his birthday, 3 weeks ago.
10.
And there was nothing again. So I think that kind of rubbed Sammy a little wrong too. But
10-13.
Yeah, that's right. So it's just sad, man. I was just, when I heard that on Eddie Trunk last night, when I heard that audio clip, I said, well, that's it, because there's no way he would get on here and say this and then all of a sudden all of us get fooled and they show up doing something. I don't see that happening. There's no way he's going to sit there and do that. There's no way,
It would be something if he did, though, wouldn't it? I mean, just
Yeah, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's not.
I just don't.
You can read somebody pretty good when they're not, in that interview I watched, you could see it in his eyes. He looks, upset. He was upset at the whole deal. He wishes he could say, yeah, we're doing a tour and we buried the hatchet, but
yeah,
Sammy's a class act compared to Eddie. No, Eddie's just, I don't know what their problem is. They got to get their head out of their ass and start listening to, one day when they get ill or somebody gets sick, it's going to be too late to say, hey, I should have said sorry, or I should have been the bigger man, when you're sitting in your bed there. And that's something you don't want to be sitting there thinking about. That's the way I look at things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, over silly disputes, or who cares if Sammy's, more successful. Eddie had his chance to get in on that, and he screwed it up. So, he's got nobody to blame but himself if that was the case, right? On the tequila deal.
Oh, I don't know about the tequila, but I know when they had the Cowboy Wabo club or whatever.
Or the club, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, yeah. But,
yeah.
It's a shame.
What was you going to say, Synner? You were fixing to say something?
Oh, I was just saying that, there's other bands that have gone through similar, issues, fighting, sleeping with other people's wives. And, you got Guns N' Roses are back, right, doing a tour. Somehow I don't think they're having tea after the show, right? They're not hanging out with each other. And you got Motley Crue. They did the end. And, you hear now they didn't even talk during that tour.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I guess, either suck it up and do it, or I guess play golf. I don't know.
Yeah, because, it's got to play into the, it plays into the music, You can't, if the chemistry's not there, you can't have separate dressing rooms and separate, rides to there, it's got to be that cohesive unit together, That's why you see the videos of them, all the, from 5150 to Balance, and you see those videos and listen to it, man. It's like, the magic was there. The chemistry was there.
So, yeah, they had it all.
Yeah, it was, man. It was. T.W.P has joined the show. Thank you, Mr. T.W.P. That'd be 10, right?
He makes a good point. Yep.
Well, I understand
Yeah,
what
that's a good
I
point,
understand
too.
what he's saying. Yeah, it's time for us to move on, and which I think people pretty
Absolutely.
much have. It's just something that came up on my feed last night, so I wanted to address it because I thought it was, as me as a fan, I thought it was important to kind of spread that to the little audience that's here, which is very small, but still, I just thought I'd like to express my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Simon Williams says Eddie sounds like a funny old stick, which is a UK expression. He says, "Okay,
I get it. It translates.
Hey, Timothy Pierce, how you doing, sir? He says hello, Joe, Adam, Synner, Jim, and everyone. Hello. All right. Big Dan Hall says exactly. No regrets. If it's money, come on. How much does one person need? It seems petty, but like you said, it has to be something we don't know about. I don't know, man. Like I said, there's always two sides to every story. I mean, there's always, just like regular news media, you don't. Everything is so.
Sorry, Joe. You cut
Sugar-coated.
off. Yes,
Everything's so sugar-coated. Go ahead.
I think it's also like from a management aspect of it. Synner and I were just talking about this a couple of days ago. So take for instance, let's just start with even videos like Metallica. Now you hear James saying stuff in recent videos saying that Kirk's not on. There's always turmoil in all these big bands. He's at Kirk Hammett saying that he didn't produce. He didn't write any of the stuff on the new record. Synner and I were talking about how in Slayer, for instance, why there's turmoil there is because Kerry King and his wife run all the finances. So that always creates bad blood in bands. When the wife, we could talk about Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy. There you go again. They've pissed them a lot of cornflakes over the years, just based on the aspect that they're a husband and wife management team. Yeah. Then you got Eddie and Alex, which let's face it, they're the Van Halens. They control the finances, so they're in charge. And I think we discussed this on the last podcast. Like the days of equal.
Also, Slash, that's why he wouldn't get back together with Guns N' Roses, because his ex-wife, was the issue between the bandmates. And as soon as he got that divorce, guess what? Guns N' Roses back together.
There you go.
So I mean,
there's always that. I mean, there you go. Again, we're getting into the financial aspect of it. And
right.
It always, money's the root of all evil when it comes to bands. And no longer are the days that band members get equal shares. You're not an equal member, and Eddie and Van Halen. Let's face it. If Sammy and Mike were in the band, they're going to get they'd be lucky if they got 20% cut. Maybe not even that. I would even say 10-15%, because the brothers would take it all. So it's the same with all the other bands I just mentioned. When you get one of the members as a part of the management, it's a problem. It's a hard thing to get over. They're never going to say. They're not going to give Sammy a quarter cut and Michael a quarter cut.
What soured me that whole thing was back when they had Michael sit down and sign that contract, giving away basically all his rights, and then they followed up with that video game, took him off, and put Eddie's son on there. I don't know. It's just disrespectful.
It's big time disrespectful. Yep. He's the founding member. Let's not forget Michael Anthony is the founding member of Van Halen, right? It's not Eddie, it's Michael. Michael's the one who got Eddie together, and he's really he's almost, you could say he's really the true, in my opinion, he's a true lifeblood of that band. He always was. He doesn't get enough credit.
Man, his vocals and just it's
right.
Van Halen, it's the band.
Just his personality, his positivity, and his just he's a gem of a person.
Well, see, it's the bass players, the glue of the bands, right?
Yeah.
So maybe in your band.
Maybe
in your band.
Hey, anytime there's like a positive thing about a bass player, I got to jump in there and reinforce it.
Oh, man. You're going to make me go get my Glenn Fricker shirt. Bass is lift shirt. My bass is lift shirt. I got other ones too for you, but I can't say them on.
Yeah, well, go ahead and send them. I'll wear them.
Yeah. I'm just joking with you.
I know.
Oh, good Lord.
See where Simon makes a good point. Like kind of what we touched on earlier. Being in a band seems to bring out the worst in people. Don't know why, but I reckon if you really want to get to know someone, get in a band with it. Yep.
Very true.
Oh, wow.
I agree. Yep. That's what starts happening. in bands.
Right.
Then within your band, you always have, people take to different people, and then you have your, people team up on different members of the band, and before you know it, you got turmoil in your own band.
Yeah.
It only stays good for so long, man. But there's always that one trigger that comes along, and be it anything, and then that's it. It's a turning point, and before you know it, stuff goes south. So
Man.
it's too bad, though. It's just the way it happens, though. It just happens.
Yeah, it's a shame. It happens
Mhm.
happens in a lot of bands, a lot of stuff. Mr. Pierce makes a statement. He says, "I had a great evening last night and scratched a big one off my bucket list. I caught the end of a guitar clinic with Paul Reed Smith. I met with him for a few minutes and it was great. Congratulations, Mr. Pierce.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Congrats.
Good stuff, man. Congrats.
Awesome. I
That's
saw that
great.
picture on Facebook. That was really cool, man. Congratulations.
Fantastic.
That's awesome, man.
Wow.
Let's see.
Ted's talking about Greta Van Fleet rocks, which your vocal sounds like Geddy Lee and Robert Plant.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I can't believe how
they
good
are.
that band is. I'm in shock. I didn't think good music was ever coming out again, to be honest with you, until I heard them.
It's like back in the day when Kingdom Come came out. They had such a Zeppelin flair.
Oh God, the vibe. Yeah, absolutely.
But,
Yeah.
But I think Greta Van Fleet has a more genuine kind of stripped down version. You know what I'm saying of Zeppelin sound. But anyway, I'm not comparing them to Zeppelin. It's just they.
Well, they sounded like them.
Yeah,
I mean, it was.
They're their own.
And then when they got interviewed about it, I guess they were trying to be funny, or whatever. In Sammy's book, when they was doing the Monsters of Rock tour, they got interviewed and they said, "Y'all sound like Led Zeppelin." And then Kingdom Come said they never heard of Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Kind of just that got them before they even got off the blocks. That just ruined it. It was a stupid move, So people were like, "Well, screw y'all," then, and that was it. You didn't see no more of them. They were done.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Crazy stuff. But, like I said, I just wanted to touch on that tonight and give my 2 cents and let y'all express y'all's opinions. I mean, whatever the case will be is what it'll be. But it was just.
That's right. I've moved on. As a fan, I've moved on long.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I never.
Yeah.
I don't hang around and wait to see what happens. I could give a shit. Oops, sorry.
No, that's all right. There's no big deal.
I could care less. I'm just gonna enjoy what they've put out.
Yeah.
And then,
Well,
I'll always enjoy it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I rest that case. So, yeah.
Right.
Me too. Absolutely. So what's going on musically, guys? Y'all doing anything musically lately? Anybody been playing some guitar and doing anything today? Past few days, whatever?
I haven't been able to. I hadn't had the time today, I did yesterday, but hopefully tonight I will. Since I got the drummer home, maybe I can get him in the back in the jam room.
Back in the loop there, yeah.
Synner picked up a new bass, didn't you?
Yeah, Synner. Congratulations on your new bass, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, congrats, Synner.
Yeah, talk about that. Let us know what you got. Did you get it straightened out? Let us know.
Yeah. I took it up to the Motor City Guitar there, and Marty had the proper tool, and it took him like a minute and a half, right? I'm sitting here for hours trying to take the neck off, put it on, because it has the old style truss rod where it's in the neck pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can show it on camera here if you guys want to see.
Absolutely. If you'd like to, yeah, please do.
Sure.
That's a beautiful bass. Yeah,
it is.
Yep. It sure is.
There we go.
Yeah, sweet.
Let me present you, Synner. Hang on a second. Let me present you so people can see it. Let's see here.
I don't know if this light's going to kill it.
Present to everyone. All right. You are now presented, sir. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there's Dimebag.
There's that is a beautiful bass, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
And over here's the Kiesel.
Oh, look at that. There we go.
I love that guitar.
I love those green inlays, man.
Oh, perfect.
Man.
That's a sweet looking guitar right there.
I might as well show the Kirk, right? Since I'm right here.
There
you go. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Another sweet guitar.
Yep. Okay, that's good. Turn that off.
Okay. All right. That's awesome, man. Yeah, congratulations on the bass, man. How's it feel to you? Does it feel good?
It's incredible. Well, it has with split coil and the jazz pickup, so I got like the best of both worlds with it. So
it sounds great.
It
From what I
was
heard.
one of the. I looked over. I'm like, because my first initial, it's like,
Uh-oh.
how I'm gonna get this right.
Yeah.
And then I picked it up and plugged it into an SPT at the store. And I was
Right.
just like, oh, okay, Marty, what do I need to do? but no, he worked out. I just traded him straight up for another base I had. So
Oh, well, that's
Can't get
good.
the price. Yeah.
That worked out great.
Like we were talking the other day on the show about the Mexican versus the U.S. and that kind of thing. Well, this is a Mexican-made base, and I traded the American-made base for it.
There
Wow.
you go. Wow.
Because it's a player, right? It sounds, it feels better. So that's what I went with.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Wow.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
Feels
Man.
good,
Wow.
plays good. It's a keeper.
That's all that matters. Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
The bottom line, man. And I love that color, too. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like an
It's
eggshell
not
or
a.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not like a bright
It's
white.
like an off-white or
Like a-
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's originally white, but they kind of yellow, when they get older.
So we're Ted says that his comment here. He says, "No way, I picked up the same bass used at Guitar Center for $350. Mine is metallic olive color, made in 1985, and his was made in Japan."
Oh wow!
Yep, that's what this is. A
Wow.
copy of pretty much. It's the Duff McKagan, because that's what he used through Guns N' Roses. He had the Japanese version, and they only made it for like 1 or 2 years. The Jazz Special.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of a P bass and a jazz bass, right? It has a jazz bass neck, a P body style, and it's got the split coil and the humbucker. So best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that's very cool.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Well,
You'll be playing with that tomorrow. All day tomorrow, eh, Center? You'll be jamming on that
Oh
all day
yeah!
tomorrow.
Now that's set up, that's what I did when I got home.
Yeah.
Got it working.
All right. That's fantastic.
That's
I never
nice.
even got any guitar playing in today. Too busy. I had company over and busy with my kids, but I plan on doing some playing later, hopefully. So
There you go.
jam out. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do when I listen to your guys' next podcast here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll play and
cool.
listen to Joe and Jim.
I'll be doing the same.
Oh, cool.
Riffing out and listening. Got that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was able to play. Well, I played a lot yesterday, and then played some today. Did a cover of the "Call Me the Breeze," which is originally, I think, done by J.J. Cale, and of course, Leonard Skinner covered that.
Yeah, Simon made a comment. He told you it was a good
Yes.
cover earlier. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you, man. Yeah,
I haven't
thank
had a
you.
chance yet, so I've been so busy. Well, I guess not busy, but the bass took precedent over YouTube. Sorry,
Yeah.
Joe.
No, dude. It's no problem at all. So I played that today. Played some yesterday. Trying to do some more experimentation with this video software. Having a lot of fun with it, and yeah, it's really cool, man. I'm enjoying it.
That's
Really cool.
Very cool.
Ted says he believes it's a basswood body.
Alder.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
Alder,
I had it completely apart, so yes, Alder.
Okay.
At least
Hey,
this
Joe.
one and his. I don't know about his, but I believe they're all Alder. So
Oh, yeah. Hey, Joe, if I ever do a video for YouTube, I'm going to use your effects that you used. I thought that was pretty cool. On your,
Oh
yes.
yeah, that video. Yes, that was cool, Joe.
Oh,
oh yeah,
That's
seen it
how
when I
you'll
was-
see me.
like
Yeah.
Joe.
thanks,
When I was
man.
driving in the. Yeah, I seen it when I was driving in the dark last night. It lit up the whole cab of the truck.
Yeah, I was.
It was cool, man. It's cool.
I was. This one of the what is it called?
One of the filters.
Thank you, filters. Yes, it's one of the filters you could choose, and I just happened to. I said, "What does that do?" And I put it on there. I said, "Whoa, damn!" It's like I was like, "That's pretty freaking cool."
I thought you had a gig at a college rave party or something. I'm like, damn, Joe, you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't see the trails. The trails off the hand. That's all I was watching. Just watching his hand movement.
there we go. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Hey, Miss Lynn. There's Miss Lynn. She goes, "Hey, Miss Lynn, how are you? Thanks for hopping in. Thank you very much."
Hey, Flynn.
Mr. Williams makes a statement. He says, "I got some quality playing in today with my Chapman ML3 Classic and my D&M Keeley dual drive pedal. Everyone
very
else
cool.
was out."
Very cool.
Chapman ML3.
I wonder how you
Wow,
guys.
that's cool, man.
I would love to try a Chapman, but
Me
I just
too.
can't get my hands on one.
I can't
Is
either.
Is that the Rob Chapman model or is that Rabia's model, the ML3? I can't remember now which one.
That's a
I don't
good
know.
question.
Which one it is.
We'll have to refer to Mr. Williams.
Yes. Curious to see what it is because I'm familiar with Chapman guitars, but I couldn't tell you what models are which. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I have no idea. Mr. Big Dan says yes. The effects rocked. Yeah, thanks, man. It's just something different. It's I'm still learning. I'm still experimenting with that stuff, so it's just something different. I'm not like the big guys, so
Oh, it was cool, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks. Well, thank you, Miss Lynn. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Williams says it's an ML2, not a 3, and is a Les Paul style with Seymour Duncans. Okay.
Wow, very cool.
He T.W.P says Chapman guitars are solid build quality. That's what I've always heard. I've always heard they're great guitars for the money. I'm like Adam, though. I've never played one.
No,
So-
I haven't either. Yeah.
They look pretty.
They have some very nice ones.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, they have some very nice models, man. And I like that. I don't know if I would really want it because they look like it. I don't know, but I think it looks cool. It's called the Ghost Fret. I like the way the design of the body is.
Yeah. That reverse headstock with that Explorer body. Yeah.
Yes, Explorer body. I think that looks so cool. That it's got that flame blue top on it. I was like, man, that looks good. God almighty. And those Telecasters don't look bad either.
No, I would take one of those. Rabia's model, I would take his. I think he's got a good baritone model.
He
I'll
has
take that.
it's like a Telly, right, with a reverse headstock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, I think it's a baritone that he plays. It's a big.
I'm sold.
It's got the longer neck.
I love.
Sounds great.
Reverse headstocks are my thing.
I love that too. Yeah, that's cool. Reverse headstock. I like that too. TW says Chapman guitars are solid built quality. They're on par with Schecter.
There you go. Those are good.
Yeah.
Simon Williams says it plays great and sounds great too, and you can't go wrong with a gold guitar. Wow. Yeah, there's Mr. Bruce. He says, hello, gentlemen and everyone. Hey, Mr. Bruce, how are you, sir?
Bruce.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to check them out yet, man. I've looked at a lot of videos on them. I think the only place you can get them, Synner, correct me if I'm wrong, but online is like Riff City Guitar. Is that right? Or is there?
I believe so. That's all I'm aware of in the U.S. anyways. I know RNA used to carry them, but they're no longer a dealer for them. So.
Wow. Interesting. Man.
Hey, Synner, have you ever? And all of y'all, there's a Kiesel that Stevie T plays in one of his videos. It's a gold Kiesel, and the neck on it, like the first 4 frets are kind of at an angle.
The fan fret, yeah.
Okay, all right. I figured you know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool looking, yeah.
They're supposed to be more ergonomical. It's easier to play. So I hear. I haven't played one, but
Yeah,
I've never played one either. No.
It's just kind of wicked looking, the first few frets like that,
Yeah, it looks kind of off, don't it? You talk about a guitar player. That boy right there, man. Good gracious alive. Man. Holy smokes, man. Dang. Gum.
He's got some good videos.
Mr. Bruce says, I would have been here sooner, but I was messing around with my Strat. That's all right, Mr. Bruce. You still made it before it was over.
Oh, no, Bruce is fired. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Holy smokes. Synner runs a tight ship, boy. Yeah.
Man, you ain't lying.
Sir.
Just playing. Yeah,
Cool.
and you keep the line, too.
Okay, well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I respect my elders. You guys are all older than me, so I respect my elders.
Gets the dig back.
I respect my elders. Don't worry.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh, man. There's Johnny Bean jumped in the chat. He says, Lou Diamond Phillips. Yeah, he got arrested for drunk driving. I saw that. Yep,
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, today? Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, earlier today or last night, he approached an officer, was asking directions, and he was intoxicated, and they hauled his ass in. I was like,
oh man,
that's not good. That's not good.
It's bad.
I wish I had a Lou Diamond Phillips joke right now.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Oh man.
Wow.
That's messed up.
Wow.
Man. Golly. Holy smokes, man. Oh boy.
Hey,
Yeah,
Johnny, what's up?
He can pay. Hey, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Good evening.
Yeah, that's. I didn't know that, but anyways, I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll hear all about. I don't watch the news, so
Well, I
don't pay attention to that stuff. But
Johnny was here with breaking news.
Yeah,
it just popped in. It just popped up on my feed earlier today. I was like on my phone on the internet, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Wow, that's messed up." I was like, "Wow, man, good lord." Oh yeah, but by the way, I wanted to tell you, Synner and Adam, also on that new song I did yesterday, "Riding High." Again, that's the Beat Buddy drum pedal you hear for the drums in that song. So,
yeah, sounded great.
Thanks, man. It's just amazing how that thing sounds.
it is. You can hear what
really is.
all the fills and all the different beats. I could. You got that Beat Buddy down pretty good. I can tell.
It's just it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to tinker around with, man, to understand it. Jim can tell you that too. I mean,
It's real straightforward. Yeah, it's easy to drive.
Yeah, easy. It sure is. It sure is. It sure is.
Well, you both got my address. Feel free to send away. I like the expensive one. I like the one you guys got. The expensive one. I don't want that little. I don't want the cheap one. I want the good one.
Don't send us that $100 one. We want $300.
Yeah, we don't want that little junior. We want the senior.
Tell Dan to.
Yeah, Dan, if you're still here, take care of that, please, sir. Absolutely.
Dan's got to adjust the books. He's got to adjust the books now.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. That's really cool. Also, everybody, look in the description. There's some links there if you want to check out about any social media information. Also, Adam and Synner, their show is Our Metal Stage on YouTube. I went ahead and put that link in there, too, if you want to check out their store and check out their shirts and stuff. It's in the description as well, along with my store as well, if you want to check that out. Please feel free. It's there 24/7, anytime you like. You can window shop anytime. And now from the new razor from the Relco. Oh, what? Anyway, so. Oh, my God.
Hey, speaking of that, remember the commercial for the Relco at Christmas time years ago?
Oh, with the Santa riding on it and they're coming down to that fake snow? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yes, I do. I remember that all the time. It was crazy. What? Big Dan says the books are getting low, Joe, after I ordered my 2 hoodies. Dang, I hear you, Big Dan. I hear you.
He is cooking the books.
Wow. There you go. Keeping the store busy. That's what we like to hear. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Man. So any new endeavors you gentlemen are embarking on as far as guitar, anything you're wanting to work on, something new, a new song, a new riff, anything new that you're interested in?
Just that riff I sent you guys. Just the stuff I sent you guys.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm working on stuff. I'm still working on. I'm trying to work on a few songs. Yeah, I'm always working on stuff. It's always
that's
work in progress. But
yep.
Good thing for this iPhone. I bet you I got hours and hours of 10-second, 20-second clips, guitar clips, man. I just erased like 300 of them that I just sent to Synner. So
I know, right? Yep.
Poor Synner.
That's all right. I send you stuff. I sent you the bass the first time I picked up, plugged it in, and I said, well, I'm going to record something. Let's hope it's not too bad.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
It's nice to bounce ideas off each other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's always a cool thing, man. That inspiration. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I'm always chasing, something different. You know what I mean? Because it gives you that, keeps feeding the inspiration. It's just something you're like, oh, okay, I can do that, or I can try that. Like the past couple of days with this video editing software, I found out a way to make your audio track a lot better than when it comes off the recorder here. And I just stumbled across that a couple of nights ago. I was like, oh, I can do that. I didn't know you could do that on here.
That's cool.
That's great, so I was like, man, that's awesome. That's going to save a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was like, wow, that's great. Cool, man. So again, another creative plateau, and it feeds the inspiration even more. You know.
Yeah,
Joe,
I get
what is
inspired.
that?
I get inspired when I put new strings on. Sorry, Jim. I have to mention that because we all got new strings. I noticed Synner got 3 or 4 packs of strings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there you go. See, I get inspired when I put new strings on my guitar. That's how it doesn't take. Doesn't take me much to be happy. New strings.
They sound so great too. Nice new fresh strings, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Joe, what is that? If you don't mind, the video editing software. Which type is that you use?
I think it's called Movavi.
Gotcha, that's it.
Movavi
Okay,
is what
yeah.
it's called. Yeah, I think because I was trying to, use other avenues. I was using Windows Live Movie Maker for a long time, which is nothing wrong with that. You can use that if you're just starting off with video editing. I still use it from time to time, but I'm using Movavi a whole lot more now since I'm getting more familiar with it and more comfortable with it. Because it gives you so many more options, like with editing and filters, and like I just said, you can master the audio track, and all this other stuff. Windows Live Movie Maker doesn't let you do all that because it's just a basic free version that came or that is available with Windows, I should say.
And that's the cool thing about that Zoom Q2N camera, with that handy share software that it comes with.
Yeah,
you can master your videos.
Yes, you can.
So it sounds a whole lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, you can master your audio through that too. Which I tried that the other night, and I must have done something wrong because I sit there and done that video and everything, and I went to go back and said, "How come there's no audio?" I was like, "Oh no!" But luckily, I had the audio recorded on the multi-track as well. So that I always do that for a backup, and sure enough, it paid for itself right there because I was going to have to go through all that again, and I didn't want to.
Oh man!
But so luckily that was my safety net, and it worked. But
take 45.
Oh God, yeah, I was doing a lot of takes on that too. My fingers were sore, my fingertips, and man, golly, boy, that Epiphone Zach Wild model is a great guitar, but that neck is pretty big on it. And after a while, it was making the inside of my hand, like where the inside of your thumb to your first finger and all that. That was getting pretty sore after a while,
Yep.
I was like, wow, man, it's time to put this thing up, man. Holy smokes, man. But the Movavi or whatever it's called, it's I was using like I said, Windows Live Movie Maker and stuff, and trying to use some other things too that you could. I was Googling stuff, and it's like, use this software now for free, and of course, like I've said before, nothing's free, man. Especially when you're looking at stuff on the internet that has to do with that, and it was just, I wasn't getting anywhere with nothing. Finally, I just had to break down and spend like $49 and buy it and install it on my laptop. And that was good to go because when you use that free version, it's okay if you're wanting to tinker around with it to see if you like it or not. I've done that with some other products, but you have to remember they're going to do different stuff like this. They're going to leave like a watermark on your video and stuff like that. It has like the product name, and you can't get rid of that unless you actually upgrade to the paid version. There's a lot of stuff like that you have to deal with. That's the things that I come into, and I was like, "What is this? How come I can't do this?" Well, that's because it's the free version, as opposed to the paid version. You get more bells and whistles,
Right. Yep. Well, they pull you in with the initial free version.
Yeah, they
do.
It's just enough to tease you and say, "Hey, I like," and I bounced it around for for a day or so, and I was like, "Man, golly, I just need something better. I want to be able to experiment more with editing and stuff like that. Yeah, it takes a little longer, but the end result to me is worth it, And so I just said, go ahead and just spend the $49 or whatever. I guess there's different packages you can get, different levels of the editing software from Movavi. I think I sent you a link one. It was like $29.99. I said, wait a minute, $29.99. I was like, is that the same that I got, or so I don't know.
That was the Sweetwater price.
Yeah. T-shirt not included. Yes.
Oh,
oh Lord, man. But yeah, so it's pretty fun to mess with, man. It just takes time, because it's a little bit of a learning curve, but not too much. If you start with filming stuff on your phone, making videos, and you start editing stuff on your phone is that kind of helps break you into that avenue
Right.
a little bit here and there, so to speak. Anyway, I love making videos anyway. Y'all know that.
Yep.
I just
No,
love
that's
making
good.
videos and stuff like that because to me it's another creative avenue that you can explore and share,
No, you're very good at it, so you got it nailed.
Thanks, man. It's still a long way to go. just learning. But
Just learning. Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
Just learning.
Oh,
You do
mercy.
great though. But thank God
Thank
for you guys because I don't have to go spend all that money when I got to get equipped. You guys have already, you and Jim have already been through all that stuff.
Well,
so
that's what I'm
it
saying.
takes the guessing game right out of it, right? When
That's
you need
right.
stuff.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's why.
And thank God for that because I
Jim
don't
and
have
myself-
time for learning curve like that.
Jim and myself have a lot of the same gear.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he has an issue, he will call me or vice versa, and I'll call him. I say,
Yep.
Jim, how do you get this part to work? And he'll tell me, or whatever, and it saves you a lot of time.
Oh, it sure does. Yeah, you've already been there and done that. So if you need help, you got it right there.
Yeah, it's a lot better than calling some hotline or something. It's like, geez Louise, come on, man. Oh, he's training. He's training. He has to learn sometime. He's training. He has to learn sometime. Like, please, golly, come on, man. All right. Let's see here. Real quick, Mr. Bishop, makes a statement. I have used Power Director, Sony Vegas, and now Adobe Premiere video editing software. That's really cool, Mr. Bishop. That's awesome, man. Yeah, there's all kind of stuff out there, man.
Yeah.
I just came across this one. I read up on it, and I like what it, for me, I was like, I don't need nothing too fancy, so. And you got to have a good laptop and a good computer, too, to handle that kind of stuff, too.
Mm-hmm.
I found that out the hard way. I had an old laptop, an old Acer laptop years ago. Remember that, Jim? And I tried getting something to upgrade, and the laptop wouldn't even hold the program. It was just
wow.
It didn't have enough.
That's my computer.
Didn't have enough memory,
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. Timothy Pierce says, I have to walk my dog. Be back in a minute. All right, Mr. Pierce. Johnny Bean says, I'm learning Adobe Premiere right now. That's good, man.
Cool.
That stuff comes in handy when you're, especially with videos and stuff. So, there's times I like to do YouTube Live, yes, but there's times I like to do pre-recorded stuff too. And I like having, no pun intended, but the best of both worlds if I can. Because when you have a video that's edited, you can put some more bells and whistles in there. Live is just one angle, one shot. That's it.
One shot. That's it.
But all right, we're getting close to the top of the hour. I need to get ready to wrap this up and get ready for part 2 coming up in about 30-40 minutes. If everybody would like to come back and join, feel free. I hope you can. If you can, I hope you have a great evening. Any last words to any of the guys here, any of the hosts? Anybody has anything they'd like to add? Anything that I didn't touch on? Maybe something I forgot? Maybe something that you wanted to say and just didn't get around to it? Now is your chance, sir.
I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for having us on, guys. Jim, thank you very much, Joe.
Well, y'all are part of the show now. We made that. I made that.
Yeah.
If I haven't made that official, I'm gonna make it now. Synner and Adam are permanent host of the show now. It's not, they're part of this whole thing here. So they have just as much control as we all do. It's equal parts here.
Oh, thank you very much, Joe. Thanks, and thank you, Jim. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome, man. We appreciate you being aboard and everything. Let's look at this chat box real quick. Adam Scheinberg stopping in for a quick hello. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Adam.
I'm going to clear my throat here. Excuse me. Simon Williams says, well, guys, it's nearly midnight in the UK. It's time for bed. Have a great day and take care. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
You too, Mr. Williams.
Take care.
Yeah, good night. And I want to thank everybody, too, personally. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope you all have a good night, too.
Mr. Bruce says, take it light, guys. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Big Dan, the accountant, says, have a great one, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Dan. Johnny Bean says, Dave or Sammy? I like both, but I lean more towards Sammy.
Yeah, I like
Same
Dave
here.
too, but I'm more Sammy.
I'm more of a Dave guy, so.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
There you go.
No, that's all
Okay,
good,
yeah,
man.
there
They're
you go.
both
That's
great,
cool.
but I lean towards Sammy, too, myself. So.
Yeah.
Awesome deal. All right, guys. Let me get part 2 ready, up and running here, and hopefully get ready for our guest. And Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the chat. If you haven't gave any thumbs ups yet, please do so on your way out. We really appreciate it. That shows love for the channel, and it helps the channel. Don't forget to check the links below, like I mentioned earlier, for our Metal Stage apparel, the Joe Wentz Project apparel. There's social media links down there. Everything, whatever you want to do, it's there. Just take a gander. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Be safe, and we'll see you again soon here in a few minutes if you'd like to come back. If not, then we'll see you on the flip side. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.